What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're kicking off another episode of the Madden 20 Realistic Rebuilds with a promise. Or we ended the last one with a promise, and this is said promise. We are 3 straight realistic rebuilds that we've lost. The Patriots, the Broncos, the Arizona Cardinals. Seemingly different levels of success. We won 6 out of the 10 years with the Patriots. We won the division. Just no playoff success. The Arizona Cardinals, we won 4 of the 10 years, which is about minimum. And then the Denver Broncos was just horrific. We only won the division once. So I needed to come with a team that we have to win a Super Bowl. And I figured, what team better than that is the team that's in the Super Bowl every year in Madden. And that is the Cleveland Browns. And when you look at the Cleveland Browns, they're also just an incredibly intriguing team to have a realistic rebuild because how good they were assumed to be still has that stench in Madden because obviously they can win the Super Bowl a lot. But in reality, they're a team where they got a brand new head coach. You have a bunch of unhappy players. There's doubt over Baker Mayfield. Myles Garrett is a goddamn criminal at this point. So I feel like it is a perfect team to rebuild while having some benefit of the doubt with the Madden sim. So looking at our roster here, we assume, we think, we believe that Baker Mayfield is going to be our long-term option at quarterback. Now, he has got regressed hard. He had a superstar dev when the game came out. Now he's regressed down to a star. But still, you know, I'm in the side that I loved when the Cleveland Browns drafted Baker Mayfield. Amongst all the other quarterbacks, I didn't have him as my best quarterback when you had Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen. I'll stand on the hill. I had Josh Rosen as my number 1 quarterback, and then Baker, Lamar, and Darnold. But I love the pick. I love just like, the attitude, everything Baker Mayfield had. And they decided that is what we want to build a franchise. I love the boldness of that pick. I'm not really a Baker Mayfield fan. He does come off as kind of corny in a lot of the stuff that he does do. And it's one of those things, like if they were winning even just a little bit more than what they were, it's just more believable. I just feel like with all the excess stuff that Baker Mayfield does, he hasn't really proven much to make what he does believable. And until he does that, I don't know. Maybe I'm not going to fully be a big-time fan, but I don't dislike him. And hopefully he can turn it all around. And hopefully throughout this rebuild, he can lead the Browns to multiple Super Bowls. In the backfield, Nick Chubb's awesome. Superstar X Factor freight train. I actually don't think I've ever had a running back with that ability, so that's going to be pretty cool to use. Like Nick Chubb a whole lot. I thought this was another sensational pick. When he had a lot of red flags coming out of Georgia with injury history, I would have invested the same exact pick the Cleveland Browns did to bring in Nick Chubb. You got Kareem Hunt on a 1-year deal, essentially. I mean, for Madden, I don't know. He's always in free agency because there's no point to really having 2 high-paid running backs. You can have 2 good running backs for sure, but you can't have 2 high-paid running backs, and you're eventually gonna have to make the decision that you're gonna pay Nick Chubb and you're gonna let Kareem Hunt walk. Maybe I could try to trade him right away. I'm actually really surprised the Browns didn't do that because you obviously saw when Kareem Hunt came back from a suspension, he's the same old Kareem Hunt. He's the same old guy that if you give him a running back 1 amount of carries, he's still going to be a top 10 running back in the National Football League. So I'm going to actually probably see if we can flip Kareem Hunt for something, maybe an offensive lineman or 2. Wide receiver, we got Odell, Jarvis Landry, Hollywood Higgins. Damian Ratley is a little bit of a Madden 20 legend for us. He was really, really good anytime we used him. Plays a lot better than that 69 overall rating. Now, there is a lot of drama from the fallout of the in real life Brown season about like Odell wanting to leave and Jarvis wanting to leave and all this stuff. But for our Madden rebuild's sake, we're gonna try to hold on to these guys. These guys are going to be very influential and important for us when it comes to winning, and especially in the postseason. At tight end, you got David Njoku, 80-star, one of the better young tight ends in the National Football League. Offensive line is bad. I mean, because I got high over here in Greg Robinson. Tell you right now, 150 pounds of weed. As one of the resident Madden potheads, I would like to say, that is ridiculous, sir. When you've made like $30 million in your career, get a fall guy for that. That's literally what you pay literally anybody you know from the hood to do that for you, do that run for you. And so you just, you have that little bit of a gap, that little bit of a buffer so you don't ruin your career. Now you're probably going to prison. What an idiot. Get off our team. Going inside. That being said, definitely need a left tackle. Top priority. Left guard, we have Batonio. Solid left guard for sure. Center, J.C. Treader's solid. We got Wyatt Teller at right guard. We got Chris Hubbard at right tackle. That's a terrible contract. We are desperately going to want to move on from that. I mean, coming into this season, I did not believe in the Browns because I thought they had the 2 worst starting tackles in the National Football League. And surprise, surprise, we are here now in real life getting ready for the 2020 NFL Draft. And Browns cannot find more ways to mock themselves a couple starting tackles from this year's draft class. On the defensive side, we have Olivier Vernon. That is a massive cap hit that I don't really want to deal with, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. But we do not have anyone to really take over for him. They got Porter Gustin at USC, Chad Thomas out of Miami, but that is a big. That's a huge gap in overall. Vernon's not that old. I feel like because for at least year 1 we'll have Vernon, then maybe we'll look in the offseason if we want to free up some more cash to move on from his contract. Myles Garrett, clearly in this scenario, he's not going to try to destroy a quarterback with a helmet. One of the best players in the league. Now, I'm going to disagree with the star. I think Myles Garrett absolutely should have a superstar dev. One of the best defensive ends. I don't know if they just regressed him down to a star after the incident, because of the incident, but I think that star dev is incredibly harsh. But, it shouldn't be too long for us to earn that back. He is a beast in Madden. We got Sheldon Richardson, Ogunjobi at defensive tackle. Both these guys are pretty damn solid. Linebacking core, we'll probably go tiki-taki as left outside, going with the youth. Joe Schobert, solid middle linebacker, 82 star. Right outside, you got Kirksey and Mac Wilson. We're going to go with the youth here with probably Mac Wilson as the starter. 2368, 27. Yeah, we'll go Mac Wilson. Maybe we'll have Kirksey play at left. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure how I'm going to approach that. In the secondary, Denzel Ward, baller. Greedy Williams, love that pick. Got to get our third corner, though. But my plan is Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams are going to be franchise players, if not here for the entirety of the 10-year rebuild. Free safety, we have Demarius Randall, who's solid. Probably, Eric Murray. Didn't they trade for Eric Murray? Either way, that's $2 million backup safety. Let's free up that salary. We got Morgan Burnett, the veteran here at strong safety. Probably need to think about getting a safety during the draft or free agency as well. Safety and tackle are the 2 big positions that I'm going to prioritize in year 1 of this rebuild for the Browns. But again, we are the Browns. If you've ever played any Madden 20 franchise mode, you know that expectations pretty much every year, all 10 of these years, are going to be there's a chance we can win the Super Bowl. That's exactly why I'm doing the Browns now, because we need, I'm not going to say an easy win, but, we don't need a difficult win. I will take an easy win coming off 3 straight realistic rebuild losses. We are 2-3 if we're doing a win-loss record for our realistic rebuilds. We need to get back to 500. I think the Cleveland Browns can do that. So, without further ado, let's get into year 1 of the realistic rebuild of the Cleveland Browns. So, as we look to try to find a trade partner for Kareem Hunt, who's in a 1-year deal, we found that by way of the New Orleans Saints. We need a young, strong safety. It's a position that we kind of prioritized when we were going through a team preview of saying we need to draft it because Morgan Burnett is like 32. However, there's a prime scheme fit safety in Von Bell, who's now a surplus requirement for the Saints because they have Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So, at face value, this trade looks a little, obviously, one-sided because Kareem Hunt's a beast. But, logistically speaking, when you look at the success that the New Orleans Saints had, it was with Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. They kind of lost that, and Latavius Murray's no Mark Ingram. So, kind of preventing, let's get back to that really 2 talented running backs. They bring in Hunt to come in and complement Mr. Alvin Kamara, and we get Von Bell, and we're very, very happy with this deal. So year 1, coming out of the bye. Oh, yeah, I thought about this. We're 1-5. We're going to have a good pick for our real draft, which is the only positive we could take. Why are we this way? Baker Mayfield's not playing great. Our offense is 20th. Defense is 2nd, which is really good. So it's just the offense. And they brought in Kevin Stefanski, the new head coach from the Minnesota Vikings, as their OC, to try to rejuvenate this offense. So look at contracts here. We'll start with Joe Schobert. That makes the most sense. Even though $6 million cap hit for a middle linebacker is kind of ridiculous. Schobert at 25 is definitely on a trajectory to get up to like an X factor. Von Bell has actually already had a dev trade scenario, which is pretty unreal. And we're not going to pretty much trade away an 88 overall running back for a guy that's only going to be here for one single season. Outside of that, I do like Hollywood Higgins here. And he does have, I'm going to do this deal, and you're going to say under $3 million for 74. That looks kind of crazy. But he does have a dev trait scenario that triggered this week. And I'm most likely going to hop in and get him that star dev because I am a massive Higgins. And of course, look, he knows he's got to go up dev traits. And he's got to add a couple numbers to that goddamn salary cap. That's annoying. Free safety Demarius Randall, 27, keep him until he's 30. We don't have a whole lot of salary cap. If we'll take that, he will. Okay, fine. So yeah, maybe we'll come back to the table with Higgins, especially if we go up in dev trait. But other than that, these depth guys are they're just that. They are depth guys and nothing more. So at the end of year one here for the Cleveland Browns, we did turn it around down the stretch. We had 2 ties pop up, but still 9-5-2. Not good enough to get an AFC North title. Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, were good enough this year. But we made the playoffs. We got a chance to run the gauntlet. It starts off with a very, it's not a super difficult. It's not like the Chargers or anything like that. We have the Tennessee Titans. Very winnable game. So looking at our team recap from year one, we did have a dev trait scenario trigger for Hollywood Higgins to go from a normal to a star, which he achieved. We actually had 2 dev trait scenarios for Odell to go from superstar to superstar X Factor. He failed in both of those opportunities, which was pretty damn disappointing. One thing that's going to be crazy, I want to see how many sacks Myles Garrett got, because I think there's at least 3 to 4, 3 for sure times he got Defensive Player of the Week with 4 sacks. So I'm prepared to see something outrageous. I haven't sneaked a peek. I have no idea what our players' numbers look like. But I assume they're going to be good because we were at pretty much down the stretch. We're averaging like 30 points a game. So we have the number 1 offense in the NFL. We have the number 14 defense. I see a lot of first place. Baker Mayfield, 4,400 passing yards, 36 touchdowns to 6 picks. He is 4th in yards, 6th in touchdowns, which should earn him back up to a superstar dev trait this offseason. Nick Chubb was amazing. Almost 2,100 rushing yards, 18. He might be the MVP. He honestly might be the MVP. He's a 95 overall running back at this point. Those are sensational numbers. Those are numbers you haven't seen since like the early 2000s. Receiving, we got 83 catches, 1,300 yards, 11 touchdowns for Odell. I love seeing that because usually your wide receiver ones in the Madden 20 sim don't play particularly well. We got over 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns for Jarvis Landry. Almost 904 for Hollywood Higgins. 5 and 7 from Njoku. 4 and 4 from Chubb. So Nick Chubb coming in with essentially 2,400 total yards and 22 touchdowns. I'd argue that's the MVP. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to play out. But I knew it was going to be terrifying. I didn't know it was going to be that terrifying. Schobert, good year. But Myles Garrett, the new single season record for sacks. 95 tackles, 14 TFLs, 25 sacks. We got 13 from Olivier Vernon, 6.5 Sheldon Richardson, 20. I mean, I knew it was going to be bad. Like, that must have been 4 weeks. There was 4 weeks he had 4 sacks. Well, there you go. And our interceptions look good. 4 picks, Denzel Ward. Von Bell, who we traded for, 78 tackles, 4 TFLs, 3 picks, paying immediate dividends. He also got himself a new contract. He's up to an 80 overall. Greedy Williams, 2 picks for a rookie. So MVP should probably be Myles Garrett. They gave it to Patrick Mahomes, Nick Chubb at number 2, Baker Mayfield at 7. Man, they need to revamp this, man. These like awards and stuff like that need to be smarter. Like Myles Garrett, at worst, Myles Garrett should have been like, probably 3 or 4, something like that. Like, stop rewarding 6 and 10 quarterbacks and start giving defensive players some respect. Okay. In the AFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Patrick Mahomes, Nick Chubb, and Mayfield 2 and 3. Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett should go up. He's obviously going to be going back up to a superstar dev trait. And hopefully he keeps playing like that. Can we get him back to an X Factor, which is where I think he should be. Vernon coming in number 9. Offensive Rookie there went to Josh Jacobs. Clearly, everyone knows he's a dominant rookie. Defensive Rookie there went to Devin Bush. Greedy Williams at 4. Mac Williams at 5. Nick Chubb's your best running back. Odell's your best wide receiver. Myles Garrett's your best D lineman. We had a lot of individual success, and we had just enough team success. Shout out to those 2 ties, which could have been the deciding factor of us making the playoffs. So let's see if we can run the gauntlet here in year 1 with the Cleveland Browns. Okay, come on. It's like Tannehill and the Titans. Winnable game for sure. We have like the best offense, and we have the greatest edge rusher season of all time with 25 sacks, Big Myles Garrett. So, of course, in the first half, I mean, we might need to get to a point where, like, some of these years we just do the straight Madden sim, like just sim the game. Because I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, I always come back to that. I think the play of the moments is just a different sim experience. But either way, I mean, if we can find a way to hold on here and win, I'll be happy. We get a 3-point lead, a minute to go. We just got to kill the game off. We have the best running back in the National Football League, and we're able to do that and hold a 10-point victory to get a wild card victory, 24-14 over the Tennessee Titans. Solid game, Baker Mayfield over 150 yards for Nick Chubb as we're moving on. Okay, bigger test here in the divisional round. It's the Patriots. It could be Tom Brady's last hurrah, and to be able to play spoiler to that potentially is going to be huge. And I think for the amount of times that we've played an AFC team in a rebuild and we've got absolutely destroyed and rocked by the Browns in the playoffs, I would love to be able to cash some of those receipts now that we are the Browns. But it's looking like we're struggling here a little bit in the red zone. A couple failed attempts. It's a 4-point game in the second half. It's close. Our defense is keeping us in it. But you never want to let, Tom Brady and Belichick keep around here. We need a touchdown, 10-point lead, 2 minutes to go. They turn the ball over, kick the field goal. This game is over. And we're going to the AFC Championship game. Come on. Here we go. Punch our ticket at 24. I don't know. That felt like 24 unanswered points. But 27-14, the Browns win. Again, okay performance for Baker Mayfield, but luckily enough, all he has to do is look pretty and hand the ball out to Nick Chubb. He's doing all the dirty work. 140 yards on the day as the Browns in year one of the rebuild are making the AFC Championship game. All right, here we go, and it is to find out who the best team is in the AFC North. The best case scenario, win, lose, or draw. I mean, come on, we're going up against Lamar Jackson. He's a god. At least we're building some job security because we have coaching firing on now in our realistic rebuilds. And we are doing with like a brand new head coach in Stefanski. Building up some job security is going to be pretty vital to making sure that, we can be at risk to a bad season or two and not get canned. I'm not looking forward to the first time I do get fired and having to cut a rebuild short. Come on, team. All right, we're down 8 in the second half. Okay, gonna need some quick scores here. 4th down, we get it. Okay, we're in the red zone. I like it. Okay, it's a 1-score game, and we have the ball. Baker Mayfield has everything to win. 4th down. It's only year one. Oh, I want to come in, but it's only year one. I don't want to. Nah, screw it. We'll come in. Come on. Let's have some fun. It's a rebuild. Let's play a little games. 4th and 11. We're going to go with, I don't even know. What's the odds the clock's already running? The clock's already running because Madden does that even though we have all our timeouts. God, I hate that. Come on, let's go. We have one shot. Who wants it? Hollywood! Boom! And he holds on to it. I'll let the sim try to get the 2 points. That would be so anticlimactic, but we'll let the sim do it. I got them the touchdown. If we're truly gonna, force overtime, it's gonna be in the stars. And they get it. We're going to overtime. And we won! Let's go. Defense came up big. And we're going to a Super Bowl in year one. 356 yards, 3 touchdowns. Baker Mayfield, absolute ice in the veins to connect with Hollywood Higgins there to get the last little touchdown in the regulation. I thought for sure he was going to drop it. That's like one of those things 50-50% of the time. You make the pass, you have a very accurate throw, but upon contact, the receiver just drops it. Luckily, Hollywood Higgins holds on to it. We're going to the Super Bowl here in year one. See, I promised you, I guaranteed at the end of the Patriots rebuild, I would win a Super Bowl. I'm not saying we're going to win it this year, but this is a terrific start. 9 more years of this. There's no way in hell we're going to go 0-9 in the Super Bowl, right? Did I just jinx myself? So as we gear up for our Super Bowl here, year one against the 13-3 Dallas Cowboys that now I want to win even more than ever, let's just look at our depth traits. So Baker Mayfield has gone up from star to superstar. Odell Beckham has gone from superstar to superstar X Factor. How did he do that? I did not think he was breaking any of those dev trait regular season stats, but I guess so. I'm not going to be angry at that. And then on the defensive side, Mr. 25 sacks, Myles Garrett, has gone up in dev trait, as well as Mac Wilson got himself a star dev performance. So, hell yeah. Getting our team back to kind of where we were. Kind of, at worst case scenario, we're bringing ourselves back to even to where the Browns were at the beginning of Madden and didn't have all the regressions from the regular season roster updates because they were garbage in real life. So now we're here at the end of year one, and you know what? I don't even care. I want to win the Super Bowl year one. Kick our feet up and knowing that at least we are going to be able to break even on our realistic rebuilds in Madden 20. So let's go, and it makes it that much more sweeter that we could do it and beat the Dallas Cowboys. Come on, big Super Bowl. Big dubs. Don't lose to Dallas. It's Dak Prescott. The only way we win this is that if they win this Super Bowl, they're going to pay Dak $40 trillion and be hopefully cap-ridden for the remainder of this rebuild. And we're playing awful. God-awful here. I don't think we've crossed the 50 yet. Our first time crossing the 50 actually ends up with a touchdown. I like seeing that. Are we going to be a second-half team? Let's go. 2 points. They can't stop us right now. We are just going up and down the field. We'll kick the field goal. It's a one-score game. Super Bowl on the line. Now it's over. We had it. It was in our grasps. And now it's over. We made it look a little bit more respectable in the end, but that is still a Super Bowl loss to the Dallas Cowboys. This makes me feel absolutely nauseous. They stopped the run, though. The first game, Nick Chubb hasn't even been close to sniffing 150 yards. Baker Mayfield played pretty well, but, well, year one, still searching for that Super Bowl. We've gone through, it feels like, 30 seasons now in the last 3 rebuilds with no Super Bowl, at 31 in the mix. So we actually have okay amount of cap room here for our year one. I didn't go through and show you guys all the cuts. All the cuts were self-explanatory. We got rid of Morgan Burnett because he was extra expensive when we brought in Von Bell. Off the top of my head, we had some depth corners that were like 70s, like TJ Carey and stuff that were actually freeing up like 6-7 million chunks. We didn't get really rid of anyone too notable. Like we still have Olivier Vernon on the roster. So for this year, I'm more so just looking for depth because how this Browns rebuild essentially is going to work. We're not going to be big spenders in free agency. We're going to try to hold on to all of our big names for as long as possible. So we're just looking for all bargain value deals. Sometimes you get guys that are in the 40 points. Sometimes you don't. But no one too crazy there. T. Stable, however, could have a chance to start as our third corner off the rip. That's why we gave him the biggest offer of the bunch. So taking a look at our draft recap, it was an okay draft. I didn't get any of the big tackle prospects that I want. I still got a decent one in Austin Jackson. Dev trade isn't there, which I'm a little bit worried about, but he's 20 and a 72 right out the gate. At a USC, he's right now, if you're looking at the draft picture, he's a second-round guy that could pump up into the first with a really good combine. Really good athlete, but the depth trade is not helping us out whatsoever. Second round, we got Troy Dye, linebacker from Oregon. More so, probably going to flex him around and make him an outside linebacker so that our linebacking core will be Schobert, Dye, and Mac Wilson. Third round, we got Ben Bredesen, 71, hidden dev guard from Michigan. Probably could be a plug-and-play at right guard for us as a rookie. Exactly, we need the dev traits. Those are our only dev traits, though. We got Ahmed here, maybe to come in and be our RB2 really fast out of Washington. Lavert Hill, 64. We got Khaleke Hudson, 65. I mean, they had really good success the last time they got a hybrid player from Michigan. The Cleveland Browns did with Jabril Peppers, so maybe we can get a lesser version of that, but still some success for Hudson. We got Tyree Cleveland, a 66 overall wide receiver in the 6. Kelly Bryant and Jerica, guys I remember from our Rip City franchise, real late in the 7th round, just kind of filling out our depth chart. But maybe 2 potential starters on the offensive line and a starter at linebacker. Got to be happy with this pull, and hopefully it's enough to get us just over that edge in year 2 to win the Super Bowl. So as we get ready for year 2 of the Browns rebuild, very talented team. 86 overall, 87 offense, 85 defense. Changes on the offense. Well, Ben Bredesen will be starting at right guard, and Austin Jackson at left tackle are 2 highly touted draft picks. Still questions, really, on the offensive line, outside of Batonio and Treader. But we're great. It's learning pains. And our offensive line was not particularly great last year, and we were a game away from the Super Bowl. So, hopefully these guys can hold it all together. As we stated before, Baker Mayfield and Odell have both gone up in dev traits. The skill position players here for the Browns are got to be near the tops, if not the best, in the AFC. Defensively, Myles Garrett, a new superstar X Factor for 25 sacks a year ago. Lots of silver on the defense as well. We decided not to pick up the 5th-year option on Denzel Ward, only because I just don't want to have, essentially, the 5th-year option, you can almost view it as like a mini franchise tag. It's just a 1-year, very expensive contract. I didn't want to have that both for Garrett and Ward. I want to just get the long-term deal hammered out with Denzel. Troy Dye will be starting left outside linebacker, where he's a 75 overall. Mac Wilson went up in dev trade from number to start last season. So, I feel good about this team. I feel pretty damn good about this team. And, we were so close last year. I think we have enough to get over the hump again this year. We just need great performances yet again from our skill position players. And we need Myles Garrett to be the best player in the NFL yet again on defense. Hey, randomly surprised, even though we almost gave up 30 points in the game, Greedy Williams went from normal to a star dev. Very deserved as well, I think, given his upside as a player. At our bye week, we are 4-2, which is tremendous. We have a dev trait scenario to get our boy Myles Garrett up to an X Factor, which the pace that he has set, again, I think we might have a chance just based upon his performance. The sacks, that'll hit it regular season, but that's still pretty cool. So 4-2, tied for first in the North. I mean, pretty much for the remainder of this rebuild, pretty much selecting this rebuild with the Browns. We knew the Ravens were going to be right there with us competitive-wise for the entirety, for all 10 seasons, and that's been the case through 2 years. Contracts, we're at the rip. Okay, so we got a couple expensive options here potentially. First off, we have David Njoku, who I think is, 4-year deal. We actually probably bumped that up to 5 years, $36.9 million. What's Ogunjobi looking like? We jumped that up to maybe 4 years. That's, it's not a bad contract. He is 26. I don't know how much more room he's gonna have for up. We'll offer him a 4-year deal. If he takes that, we'll keep it. If not, I probably won't re-up with him. He does take it. All right. Vernon's gonna be gone though, and everyone else at this point is, goodbye. Then year 2, the gauntlet is here, 10-6. Oh, it's an AFC North title. I did not think we were gonna win it. We lost both games to the Baltimore Ravens. Hell yeah, though. We'll take that. We got a... Yeah, let's put a little 1 there in the old Excel sheet. Let's go on a run. Gauntlet or not, go on a run. Team's up to an 88 overall. Quick look at the stats. Baker Mayfield, not nearly as good as he was a year ago. It's still, acceptable numbers. 3,500 yards, 23 touchdowns, 10 picks. Nick Chubb is the star of the rebuild. 1,700 yards, 19 touchdowns. More touchdowns than a year ago. No 1,000-yard receivers. Definitely disappointed to see that, but a little bit more traditional of this is almost what I would expected year 1, even though we had both Odell and Juice go over 1,000 yards. Defensively, show-related team in tackles. Only 11.5 sacks this year for Myles Garrett, so I'm not thinking we're getting that X-Factor dev trait. 4 picks, Denzel Ward, 3 Greedy Williams, 3 Von Bell. Interceptions look really good, though. I'm not going to complain about that. Yearly awards MVP went to Deshaun Watson. Nick Chubb coming in at number 10. Nick Chubb didn't make it last year when he had better numbers, but now this year, number 10. I mean, every year is different, I guess. For individual awards, Tua is your Offensive Rookie of the Year. Isaiah Simmons is your Defensive Rookie of the Year. Nick Chubb, Best Running Back. I'll take that. I'll take one award winner. Nick Chubb is really, really good. But we're going to have to run the gauntlet. It all starts here with the 9-7 Patriots. Do they still have Mr. Tom Brady? They do. So we knocked them out last year. Can we knock them out this year and for sure end the Tom Brady era? Let's do it. Okay. Let's do it, man. We didn't have the best stats passing in the regular season. That means we're going to be doing the sim. Quick score. It's a high score in the first half here. Okay. Okay, back and forth, trading blows. That's not the Patriot way. Patriots aren't meant to trade blows. They're meant to take games over and kill you off. So as long as we can stay here, especially in the second half, put up tutties, we're going to be good. John Madden analysis. If we scored touchdowns in the second half, we're probably going to win the game. Everything to play for in the fourth, tied up at 21 apiece. What team wants it more? We got the ball, 2-minute drill to go win it. Oh, it's looking beautiful to do so. We missed the field goal. How do we shank the... Oh, no. And we had like 6 times. We shanked like the 40-yard field goal to win in regulation. We had 2 attempts in overtime. That is a horrific sim. You cannot ask for a worse sim performance than that. 1 and done. 2 of free agency. Man, if we need a running back, there are running backs. However, we do not, because we have the best running back, I think, in the National Football League. So there are some interesting options. For me, I'm going to look. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I'm only going 1 bid. I got to get a partner card for Myles Garrett. We got to get someone to replace Olivier Vernon. Tack McKinley. Speed rusher is the scheme fit that we also want for a left defensive end. But so we're coming in with a competitive bid, a better bid than the Arizona Cardinals. I just don't know with, Tack McKinley technically in Madden algorithm seeing Myles Garrett a position ahead if he's going to come to us. That'd be nice. Beautiful. We got Tack McKinley. We got ourselves a scarier defensive line. A 5th-year option here for Baker Mayfield. we are going to pick this up. So that really the only guy's big contract that's going to be impending next year will be Denzel Ward, which we're going to have more than enough money to spend. Oh, another fifth-year option. Who else? Denzel Ward. Oh, we still got it for Denzel Ward. Hell yeah, okay. He didn't make as many big plays. He's got 4 picks a year. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we picked up that option as well. Thank you very much. Okay. Draft recap for our last draft of real prospects. Very similar style, man. We went to build the offensive line. So we got our right tackle here in Alex Leatherwood, I think. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to get a little flexible. It's 72, hidden dev. He was a first-round projected, and his scouting came up a red second round. I was a little bit scared, but he's a really, really solid offensive line prospect. And then the second round, another guy had a really high grade for us. Josh Myers, the center from Ohio State, going with the local kid. 70 hidden dev trade. J.C. Treader is very old at this. Well, not very old, but he's at the age where he's going to start to regress. So it's better to project and get his replacement here. And I know it is faux pas to draft linemen now because we know once we get the Madden generated class, it's a lot easier. But if you do draft linemen, make sure you get the dev traits because dev traits are few and far between when you draft in the random generated draft classes for linemen, I find. Third round, we got Asante Samuel Jr. Yes, the son of the great Patriot and Eagle. We got a tight end here from Utah, 65, and Oli McNeil, scheme fit D tackle in the 5th round. But, continuing just to build up this offensive line, set the foundation so that for all the rest of the draft classes, we would use them on big priority picks on skill position players, exciting players, and not have them burn them on linemen. Start the season off with a trade because we got Myers, young, hidden dev trade center. Kind of made J.C. Treader a little bit of an expendable option, but he still was an 80. He's 30 and 80. Could start on a lot of teams. More difficult was trying to find a team that could fit his cap in, and it was the Arizona Cardinals, desperately trying to get that anchor to that line to help out Kyler Murray. So we're able to flip Treader for a 2022 third-round pick. And here's our team. We'll be shaping up for year 3 of the realistic rebuild of the Cleveland Browns. On the offense, Leatherwood will be starting. Myers will be starting. 2 new faces on the offensive line. Rest of the skill position players, all familiar faces. Defensively, our boys Myles Garrett did get the X Factor, which is really good. Got a Super Bowl week. He is unstoppable force. Makes sense. All is right in the world. We brought in Tack McKinley in free agency. Mac Wilson up to a superstar dev. We have put him as our money backer kind of position. I'm thinking just to maximize dev traits, maybe we'll just go with Troy Dye there this year because those guys tend to get more tackles, and more tackles help you get your dev trait increase based upon your regular season performance. So, I feel really good about this team yet again, and hopefully in year 3, a lot more success to come. Right before the trade deadline, able to make another move here with just shipping another depth lineman, and Wyatt Teller's a 76 overall. I think he was 26, 27, so it's a really good lineman and a 5th to the 49ers to get a 3rd-round pick. Again, we're going to have plenty of ammunition to get some skill position players, exciting players in our next draft. Big dev trait scenario. Might as well bring it up here. We're not at the midway point. We're close enough. Troy Dye made him our money backer. Went from normal to star plus 10,000 XP. And I think for like the 10th time, Hollywood Higgins just itching to go to superstar dev. However, he's just not been good enough in the sim to get that 150 yards or 3 touchdown threshold. Maybe he can do it again. But here we are, 3-3, just right before the bye week. We'll upgrade our players, but we're right there, man. We are right there. It's not a particularly great. There's no breakout team in the North. It's going to be a fight down the way, so we're still in it. Look at that contracts here. First up, we got Nick Chubb, 7-year deal. Sure, man, you're amazing. Myles Garrett, you're amazing, man. Wow, you're the best. So 100%, we're getting both those guys. There's no way neither one of them are walking out that door. Richardson, you're gone. Sorry, you're gone. We're going to have $200 million stuck into 2 players, but they're both easily the best players in this rebuild. We can't let them walk. At the end of year 3, no gauntlets are being run this year, ladies and gentlemen. 13-3, the Browns' 1st round bye. Our 2nd divisional title. I love it. Looking at the stats here, Baker Mayfield, whoa, okay. Those are 31st and 18th. Not great numbers, but I'm happy with that kind of year because I assume Nick Chubb, once again, was freakishly good. 3,400 yards, 30 touchdowns, 5 picks. You'll take that from a quarterback every year. When you're running back, because, whoa, okay, that's actually not what I was expecting. I mean, 1,500 yards is really good. That's not a bad year at all. That's not really what I was expecting when the offense was playing like that. Maybe it was a defensive team that got us to that point. No 1,000-yard receiver. Again, that first year looking every much more like an outlier. Defensively, no one crazy for tackles. Sacks are good. 14.5 Myles Garrett, 12.5 Tack McKinley, 7 from Ogunjobi. We got 8 picks. Demarius Randall. Sure, why not, right? Yearly awards MVP went to Patrick Mahomes. Coach of the Year went to Kevin Stefanski. AFC Odds Player of the Year went to Patrick Mahomes. No one on the Browns. Defensive Player of the Year went to Raekwon McMillan. No one on the Browns. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Rashad Bateman. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Dylan Moses. All right. Well, you know what? I'll tell you right now. I'll take team success over individual success all damn day. We got the first round bye here in year 3. Our victim. Why do we play them every year almost? It feels like this. The Tennessee Titans. Our first round opponent is going to be the Tennessee Titans. Very winnable game. Come on. Every time we play Titans, say it's a winnable game. It's only a matter of time it comes back to bite me in the ass. But I'm hoping it's not this year because it's the first year that we are very much a legit team from a winning standpoint. We've found ways to win games, yet no points in the first half. Very, very depressed. Oh, I'm so depressed. Anyone have the hookup on bulk cinder blocks so I can go jump off a bridge? Why is it just... Oh, no. Weird. All right, year 4. Year 4 it is. Oh. Free agency. Don't have a whole lot of money, and we already, we got that Baker Mayfield contract coming up. So, well, there's your familiar faces. Pretty much, my God, Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara just getting one-year rentals out here. There's some nice weapons, definitely some nice talented names here. Again, we just got to prioritize that contract for Baker Mayfield, and I did not expect Nick Chubb to cost me $100 million. So look at our draft recap. We acquired a bunch of draft picks, and I just kicked the can down the road. It was an incredibly weak draft class. On paper, we got like a couple. I whiffed on a tackle, didn't look good. We got a 69 tackle in the 6th round. He looks decent. 64 safety, 67 D tackle. We had one good pick, and it was Cedric Allen, the D tackle out of Penn State. 75 with a hidden dev trait. Not quite a scheme fit, but you can't miss a guy like this. Really solid player, and we need to get a little bit better at D tackle. We lost Sheldon Richardson in free agency, so he has all the opportunities in the world to start alongside Larry Ogunjobi here as a rookie. So still looking for that elusive, that non-existent, it feels like at this point, Super Bowl here in year 4. Our team is an 89 overall, 91 offense, 88 defense. Obviously, I think we're going to have to pay certain players this year, which are going to make our salary cap a living hell. But not a lot of change on the offense. Things pretty much remain the same. Got a lot of silver, which is better than a lot of, bronze. On the defensive side, we got Dye, got a new dev trait, 82 star. We got Allen, our first-round draft pick, who will be starting the season. Other than that, things pretty much remain the same. Really surprised Randall didn't go up dev trait with 8 interceptions last year, but I think corner is, like tight end, one of the positions that are kind of messed up in the algorithm. So, we're still a really, really good team, and it all starts by getting our 3rd AFC North title here in year 4. Coming out of an early bye here in year 4, we actually got a breakout player scenario for an X factor on Mack Wilson, who is conveniently in a contract year. Linebackers usually are the easiest X factors to get through just, simming the game. So it'll be interesting to see how, if we can actually land him here on a extension. So it starts here with Denzel Ward. That is actually a very reasonable deal, $57 million for a 91 overall corner. So, of course, we have to come back for him. Mack Wilson would really like to land him here to a long-term deal before he potentially goes to an X Factor, which we get done. Greedy Williams, another young player that I think has a big potential, big future here for the Browns organization. I think Jarvis Landry's on the outs. Batonio, it's an offensive lineman. While he's a great offensive lineman, they are replaceable. So it all starts this way. We're kind of kicking around the bush here. Baker Mayfield, 5-year, $155 million, and we got him locked up. So really, once we extend Denzel Ward, we'll have a clear picture about who we can potentially look to re-signing. Given the ages and stuff, maybe Batonio on a 1-year deal, because it's really only going to affect our salary cap for next year's free agency, and we're probably not going to get a better player. Let's actually just do this right now. Will he take a 1-year deal like that? Hell yeah, there we go. So yeah, we'll just hammer our long-term deal with Denzel Ward. That's a really good in-house negotiation period. And at the end of year 4, another first round bye, 12-4, our 3rd divisional title of the rebuild. But it don't matter at this point. Got to win the playoffs when it matters. So Look at our stats here. Baker Mayfield, again, acceptable year for our new $155 million quarterback. Maybe wanted it a little bit better, but his completion percentage is up, even though the interceptions are also up. Big year, Nick Chubb, 1,500 yards, 9 touchdowns receiving. It's just, I don't know what happened. Why did we peak year one for all our receiving numbers? It's kind of dumb. 105 tackles for Joe Schobert, 3 picks. We got 18 TFLs, 11.5 sacks for Myles Garrett, 14 and 6.5 Ogunjobi, 13, 6.5 McKinley. Allen, our rookie D tackle, 43 tackles, 11 TFLs, 3.5 sacks. Came out as a star dev as well. Overall, 80 overall star, 21. It's a really good first round pick. Interceptions, Schobert. I mean, obviously, I absolutely love the 2 corners we paid a lot of $1 million. Like, combined, what's that? We probably got $120 million. I love that just got us 2 picks on the year. Beautiful. Love it. Smart decisions. Yearly award MVP is Carson Wentz. For the rest of the AFC, Offensive Player of the Year, Deshaun Watson, Miles Jack, Cassidy. I actually thought about drafting that guy, too. He's a power back. We just, obviously, with Nick Chubb, doesn't make any sense to do so. Individual awards. We do have Best D Lineman, which is Myles Garrett. Other than that, not a lot of individual success, but we have the team success. Can we please get a Super Bowl? That's all I'm asking. And we kick it off against divisional rival Lamar Jackson and the 9-7 Baltimore Ravens. Come on. Give me something. Give me something to get the blood going, you know? Let's get into an AFC championship game and just win it, you know? So we're playing out pretty well here, actually. 21-10 in the first half. 28-10, actually, in the first half. We're coming out with a man on a mission. We're not letting Lamar Jackson take this game over. We're letting Baker Mayfield, our new $155 million quarterback, do the damn thing. This is dominant. This is payback for the previous 4 years. We get a 40 bomb? We do get a 40 bomb. That is establishing dominance right there. Keep going. Keep going. Go ahead. 48-25. The Cleveland Browns with Baker Mayfield having maybe his best game of the year. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, over 130 for Nick Chubb. The Browns with a dominant performance over the Ravens, and they punched their ticket to the AFC Championship game. The championship game, it's a snow game against a California Charger team. So I don't know if the snow is going to cancel out the Chargers being really good in the sim. We're going to have to wait and find out. But we're playing very well. 10-13 zip in the first half. I don't think the Chargers have even crossed midfield. However, we are settling for a lot of field goals here. This game should be 30-0, and it's only 19, and the Chargers, you know they're going to come out, and they're going to have a lot of juice in the second half here. So let's see. Come on, punt this one away. 26-7, fourth quarter, a massive fourth quarter lead. The Brownies, I think, have done it. In year 4 of the rebuild, have got to a Super Bowl. At least, I can't even remember the last time we got to a Super Bowl. Okay? So 26-7. Big game Nick Chubb, over 150 yards. Nothing, you know, it's a snow game. What else do you expect? But we're here, and we're going to the Super Bowl. Oh, boy. And in the Super Bowl, we're taking on MVP Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Fletcher Cox, Ertz, and Wentz are their X Factors. Brooks, Lane Johnson. They have Antoine Winfield, Jackson Carman, and they kept Nelson Aguilar, who's now to a superstar dev. Telling you what, I'm playing this game. I am playing this game because I am not winning a Super Bowl here in this episode. I'll tell you that. I promise you that. I play the game. I mean, play the moments. We will pop a bear this one. Anytime things start to get a little fishy, you better believe we're hopping in. If it starts to get one-sided, we're going to hop in and nip that in the bud as best we can. See, like right now, we haven't done anything. We're going to come in on 3rd and 5 and try to help the Brownies here in their pretty ugly-looking jerseys. Get a conversion and get a chance to score some points. So, what do we got here? Nobody's covering Hollywood Higgins right now. So, let's just go right there. That's an easy completion. Just reading the defense like I do. Everyone knows if you watch YouTube videos and watch my franchise videos, I read the defense. All right, move the ball. Come on. Come on. We're in the red zone. 3rd down. Okay, we got to do it all. We got to hold their hand all the way downfield. So, what do we got here? We got Odell. I mean, we know the Eagles secondary is back. They haven't been able to fix that secondary. Someone get open. And we'll go Hollywood Higgins again. Score me a touchdown. Yes. They get the touchdown. And the computer gets the touchdown. What? Are we spoiled? What is going on here? Okay, now we're getting in a little bit of deficit. There's perfect time to come back in. Again, I don't know, for whatever reason, our offensive line has been sensational and giving us time. And the connection between Baker Mayfield and Hollywood Higgins has been a thing of beauty. But then we just get choke slammed down to the ground by Gennard Avery. Former Cleveland Brown. A little bit of a revenge game here. And we got the punt, but a turnover by the Eagles in the red zone. We tie this game up 21 apiece. 28-28. Hold him to a field goal. Give us something here. Oh. Okay. Well, this is it. This is going to be it. This is going to be it. Do we want to be Super Bowl champions or do we want to lose to the Eagles? I guess if I had to lose a Super Bowl, I would rather it be to the Eagles. That is a terrible throw. There's no one open. Terrible throw and no one was open, but terrible throw nonetheless. Antoine Winfield picks it off. That was a bad play call, man. Wait a minute. Wentz. I spend more money than probably any team in the NFL in my corners. And you let Carson Wentz go for 380 and 5 on you, bro? Garbage. Have some logic, please, Madden. Free agency, why aren't Alvin Kamara and Dalvin Cook getting long-term deals? Don't know. It's just, I'm not going to go on a tangent about how I hate Madden because you guys dislike that. I don't want to get in a bad mindset, even though I'm very triggered at this point. But given this scenario, wherever the team, we don't need to actually sign anyone in free agency. None of these guys fill any of our voids. We just need another strong draft. And more so, keep the team that we had together, which is what we've done by keeping our in-house signings there. And just get to another Super Bowl, and eventually we're going to get it done and get it all the way through. And for our final draft of part 1 of the Browns rebuild, we had a lot of picks. We actually kept most of them, and then we just simmed it out, just getting rid of the garbage picks. It wasn't a great draft class. It wasn't a bad draft class. A couple 60s, mid-60s, a couple 60 corners. We just got on the best linemen, and of course we couldn't get a dev trait. I'm not gonna lie, I've been very annoyed with this rebuild so far. Cassidy Nolan though, 76 normal dev. Looks pretty solid, almost like for like of the Austin Jackson pick that we made in terms of like a really nice looking lineman, but no dev trait of course. And he had like a 7-1 combine grade. It looked crazy, but we'll find a way to play him on the offensive line, and we got some solid depth guys for sure. With everything to play for here, year 5, we have what? 3 divisional titles, 4 divisional, 3. I have 3. I think we might have 4 divisional titles. We have 1 Super Bowl appearance. But no wins. We need a win. Offense, again, all familiar faces. Not a lot of change. Not a lot of turnover on this team. Defensively, not a lot of turnover on this team. 99 club, Myles Garrett. No depth traits really, but everyone's been playing very, very well. No one's really been underperforming. Now, we do have a weak spot here at free safety. I think probably take someone like Khaleke Hudson maybe. 74. He's athletic and has the profile that I think he can play strong or free. Even though you watch him in Michigan, you're like, that guy's probably a linebacker. In the Madden world, where our corners, a 92 and an 85 corner with give up 5 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, doesn't really matter. You throw logic out the window. I feel comfortable with our team that we're going to be the team that can go 5 touchdowns and punch for punch with any team in the Super Bowl here in year 5. Don't let me down, or else I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to break mentally. I don't know. You ever get a brain? You guys ever have a slushy, like a Slurpee, and have a brain freeze? Like sometimes Madden just does that to me when I just look at stuff. We're 3 and 4. Not too far out the pace. Like the year's not done. It's just I'm not optimistic. It all starts with actually getting a win this week. Contracts, obviously, we have to think about the second 5 years, about guys that we want to have for that second 5 years. Odell, probably want him. Takes that money. Ben Bredesen, definitely want him. 4-year deal. Don't worry about it. Troy Dye, he's been playing really good at linebacker. We'll actually give him 5-year. Austin Jackson, don't really want to give up on him as a developmental prospect. However, depth trait is not great. We don't have a whole lot of money. We'll be able to get back Ben Bredesen, but we don't have enough for Batonio and Hollywood Higgins in particular. And our 5th and final year, we didn't make the play. It's just one of those days. It's just one of those days. I woke up in the morning, knew I'm going to be easily agitated. Since we made that promise that I was going to, get back to the old content and stuff. I think there may be one video, one of my Rip Cities, where I was like, starting to get back to that old guy that's just not happy. Today, I hate Madden. It's just one of them days. It's just one of them days. When we're able to sit back and look at it, it's going to be more motivation with this team than in the part 2 of the Browns. So we're going to win our first Super Bowl. But maybe it's just also the fact that, we're last 3 rebuilds in a row. 30 years. The last 35 seasons we've played of Madden, presented in a realistic rebuild fashion. we've only appeared in one Super Bowl. Maybe that's what it is. It's just starting to catch up on me. You got 91 across the board, and 8-8 is where we're at. Statistically speaking, Baker Mayfield is not playing. He's just playing average, like an average good quarterback. Nick Chubb's been a beast, best player, most consistent player. I mean, yes, Tyreek Cleveland, sure. Joe Sherbert, a lot of tackles, 5 picks. Greedy Williams, breakout year for him, standout year for him. I like seeing that. Myles Garrett, 14.5 sacks, 9 from Tack McKinley. See, Tack McKinley, now we're coming back to like our in-house signings. We don't have a whole lot of money. It's like, well, look back. We signed Tack McKinley. He's been our biggest free agency signing. He's actually played very well as we brought him in. 12.5, 6.5, 9.5. I will take that for, we didn't even pay him top-tier money. It was like a $30 million contract. But we gotta write this shit, man. We gotta figure out what the hell's going on. I'm getting sick of this. We have, 35 years. The last 35 years of Madden Sim has been just shit shoveled in my face. And today I just cracked a little bit. I gotta find a way to channel all that. Get all of that, not bury it, because if you bury it, you bear for too many rebuilds, you're gonna blow up and just have a real bad time. Probably about time I gotta do like the Giants, something like that. I'm just gonna go off. But what we need to do is take all that shit that's been shoved in our face. The Patriots rebuild, the what other ones? The Cardinals rebuild, the Broncos rebuild, and now this Browns rebuild. You take all that shit, and we gotta just get years 6 through 10 for the Browns. When we were back here, probably on Thursday, getting ready to kick out the combine, I'm gonna be in great mood. That's the best thing about this, is that the combine is combine week. It's one of my favorite weeks. I'm gonna be in a great mood when we pick up part 2 of this Browns, and I promise we're winning a Super Bowl. If I have to, I will tell you right this second. If we're going into year 10 of that Cleveland Browns rebuild with no Super Bowl, I will play every game. I will make it behind the scenes. I will play every single game. I will throw for 90 touchdowns if I have to. I'm winning a Super Bowl in part 2. Because this is driving me nuts, man. Literally, it's not just me. I know it's not just me. I've done my homework. I've looked around. There's, the YouTubers, 4 or 5 other YouTubers that are rebuilds. Everyone this year is having absolute garbage luck when it comes to winning with good teams. I know it. But now that we got firing on, I just don't want one of these dumb Madden years to cost me a chance at winning in a rebuild, because we get kicked to the curb. But given the fact that we've won 4 out of, actually 3, maybe make it 3, because that definitely wasn't. 3 out of our 5 years we've won the division. I think we have some decent job security. We've gone to the Super Bowl once. But as Nick Chubb, get your best running back here in year 5. Myles Garrett, again, pretty much automatic at this point that he's getting best defensive lineman. Just got to find a way to win, man. We got to find a way to win. We got to find a way to get Baker Mayfield past this threshold of sub 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns is like his cap. And we got to get him back to the way he was playing year 1. That fight, that hunger, the desire. I will say at this point, if there's anyone, like, if anyone here knows any, like, cheesy, like, someone in my Discord suggested if you turn on manual scouting and, like, every week you just scout it manually yourself, the sim, you have better luck in the sim. Is that bullshit or not? Maybe, I don't know, maybe I gotta start doing things like that. Maybe I need to start going on the dark web, the hidden forums, the Madden Reddits, and figure out how to make this sim work and make it at least, I don't know what the word is, because good teams underperform all the time. Right? So, like, it's not unrealistic, unheard of a team like the Browns to crumble. They did it in real life, right? But there's also a point in time where, like, you got to get consistently, your good players need to play well. And, like, Odell consistently getting 800 receiving yards a year, it doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like, it's like, why am I doing this? What's the point of having really good playmakers, paying top tier money for wide receivers who this year was sensational, got himself up to an X Factor. Ever since he's been an X Factor, 700 yards, 900 yards, 900 yards, 700 yards. Why? That's all I want to leave it with is just why? Why? So, again, apologize if a little bit of frustrations are coming out in this video. It's just, like I said, 35 years. The last 35 years I've hopped in this series. Hasn't been rewarding, hasn't felt good, and I'm just going to find a way over the next day or two to bring back part 2 of this Brown rebuild and win 2-3 Super Bowls. And we'll be good again. We'll be smoking. We'll be We'll be getting those ribs. We cook them in at 235 degrees for about 17 hours. We're going to be cooking for the remainder of the series. So we'll be back in a couple days, recharge, reload it, and going to win a Super Bowl if it's the last thing I do. I promise we're going to win it. If I don't win a Super Bowl, I'll tell you right now, if I don't win a Super Bowl in the next part of the Browns, I'm ending the series. I'm not doing this anymore. That's how confident I am that I'm going to win it. So thank you guys for watching. As always, first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoy. I'm going to go play some Flashback Pink Slips, because that's actually a really fun series right now. It's rewarding. And I'll catch you guys back here probably Thursday for part 2 of the Browns rebuild and to kick off the Combine weekend. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys back here on the next one. Peace out.
Money I'm spending, I'm out and I'm shopping. You talking that shit, well you talking the talking. Look at my options, look at me dropping. Ass in the game, like who are you stopping? Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. Not me, not me, not never. I'm way too clever. Look at the kid, Mr. Consistent, I'm doing it big. Way too persistent on taking your bitch. Here comes a monster to scare all you kids.